All right. How am I gonna make sure this starts up? Silenced. Just gotta be quick, I guess. All right, here we go. So I had this idea popping around my head to look at a rules parser. So basically, if we have something like not this one. So if we have something like this puzzle, grid consists of 5 numbers and classical reasons. All right, so this would not be a good example, but this be a good example. Not sure. No. Don't even know what that means. Neither would this. These are rules text. Here we go. So stuff like normal Sudoku rules apply. Min max must be greater. Indicator symbols boarding the cells. And other things, especially things related to global rules like anti-knight and so on. And in fact, I'm just gonna look at, and kind of, I mean, this is something I've thought about for a long time, but today, to do it today, the inspiration came from Simon's video from yesterday, the Sudoku map. So let me just bring up that puzzle. Yeah, something like this. Fine. This will do fine. So, for example, here it says cells are knight's move in chess cannot contain the same digit. Now, the exact wording of that kind of thing differs all the time, but maybe we can figure out a way of parsing some of that, right? And then over time, maybe improve it. I'm going to make it an open source project. So maybe I'll put it inside Sudoku Tools. So let's have a look at Sudoku Tools, SRC, compression format, min-lax. Don't know what the... So I've worked on a couple of different things. Wait a second. SudokuPad.app. I think I actually want to keep that one. And my brain just jumps ahead and I always spell pad with 2 Ds then. So, let's make a folder here. Say, rules parser. All right, and we'll do, I don't know, rules parser.js. And it's gonna be super primitive. I'm gonna start very, very primitively, like some basic regex, whatever, not really a hardcore parser or anything. But the clever part is that I have access to a large database of stuff. So I'm gonna initially look at my database of actual puzzles, but then eventually I also want to look at the videos, right? So if I can compare videos to the puzzles, you know, and I can go back to older CDC puzzles. And the other nice thing is all the F-puzzles links, and you know, I have to see where I can get a large collection from. But all of those generally have the rules encoded plus a rules description. So I might be able to use that to figure out which words are used for what kind of rules, right? And over time, eventually, maybe I can set it up so it can infer rules that aren't generally mentioned, right? So maybe a puzzle that mentions a certain rule never has a certain other rule in it. So hopefully it'll be smarter than just looking at the text, right? Yeah, and maybe even looking at things like, oh, well, what's the size of the puzzle, or how much stuff is there outside the edges of the puzzle, or whatever, right? Or like, for example, there's that famous 6x6x6 3D puzzle on CDC. I have it open somewhere. It's usually my test case for weird shapes. Basically, it has 6 puzzles where each puzzle references each other, but it's just laid out as one giant grid with nothing in the data indicating that. But maybe I can infer some of that from the description, right? So a lot of this work is going to actually happen in here. We're going to start by just looking, and I'm going to make this a little bit bigger here so you can see that all right. I hope that all is readable. And we're going to look at first the CTC database, and that goes way back to puzzles which didn't have rules text in them. So I can compare those with features in the puzzle and maybe the video description stuff. So first we need to access files. Right. And then we can say puzzle db fn, that's a file name. And I'm just gonna run it like this for now. So I'm just gonna do this, but then ultimately this has got to be smarter. Public staging puzzles or API? Public staging API. And this file is accessible. I think I upload this, so it's online, even though I'd rather people not use it. So I might have to change that. I might not. Actually, I don't know if that file is published. Maybe it's not being published. I think it is. All right, and then we'll do an async root function. So we're gonna do async, and we're gonna await async la-di-la-di-la-da-da, something like that. And then here we're gonna do await speed dot read file. I can tab audit. All right. And I'm just gonna open some other files to give me a reminder of certain basics. Okay, just a string. All right. So this should come out as a... I hope I didn't just... No, all right. I thought I might have deleted the file, but no. FSP, const FSP equals dot promises. Oh, did I? Oh, okay. Here I'm gonna go with import. All right. All right. In this project, I thought I was modernizing and updating my knowledge a little bit. So let's see how it goes. Oh, I should probably also add. How do I do this? Add YouTube announcements when. Boom. All right. Yeah. Wait. Log SCF. Rigor is not defined as module scope. Use import instead. Did I? Oh man. I must have built this one before, so that won't work anymore now. Will it? Annoying. I don't actually know how to import it. Wait. Obviously, if I do import promises as FSP from FS. As FSP. All right. All right. Yeah, I know. It's big. It's big. So we're going to parse this, even though it's going to be lengthy. All right. And then 3,590 for more items. Okay. All right. So then we'll just look at a small sample of these. Let's say 3. Maybe not 3. Okay, so these need to be parsed. So we need to include some parsing stuff. Now, I don't have that all important. Well, there's puzzletools.lib, but I don't know if this is actually importable. So primitives.mjs puzzle tools.lib puzzle tools. Ugh. All right, let's see. Maybe I'm not quite ready for module format because, man, it's annoying. Lib. If I do this. Cannot find module. Where am I? I'm in rules parser. SS puzzle tools lib. Does it need an extension? Does not provide an export. If module.exports equals puzzle tools. And the default has to be done how? Export. And export. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually creating an MJS version of this. Even though I don't like that. I don't like this at all. I mean, it's type module. Why can I not use regular syntax here? Let me see. I don't want this to be painful. I want this to be quick. So I want to be able to use require, to be honest. Require is not defined, use module scope. So that shouldn't be a problem. Come on. How do I force it to run as a regular file? Those requires not defined. Solution, get rid of the requires. Change the type of the module from the file. No. Mix common JS and module in one project. Can I not mix these somehow? Override. So can I not override mod type module in package? I want to module type use require with use CJS model. You just import them by import instead of require. Which you can use ESM module to access to. But wait, if I'm trying that, I get does not default. Can I not do without that? Come on. Does not provide an export name default. The request module does not provide name. Use the default keyboard when exporting values from a file. All right, screw it. We'll just save this as a MJ. No, I'm not going to go down this route because it's going to get very confusing very quickly. So we're just going to do this for now. Await is not defined. Seriously? Await is not defined. Is that because of the common JS now? Well. I never quite liked the module syntax stuff. It's always been a bit of a mess. All right, so I can just close these down here, I think, for now. If we put that here. So puzzle tools, we should be able to decode something from here. All right. We're just gonna do let puz data equals puzzle db 0. All right. Keeping an eye on chat. So now we should be able to run it through puzzle tools .unzip, I believe. Or do I have to go run it through puzzle zipper? Yeah, because that is not. So we need to bring puzzle zipper down here. All right. And I think puzzle zipper, I've library-fied it over here somewhere. So puzzle, where is it? Puzzle lib, puzzle tools lib. It's like an older version of it, eh? Sudoku solver, codec, mini scripts. Sudoku's link server must definitely have access to this. Here, puzzle server, right? All right. So let's let's just copy that one quickly. Let's rename that to lib so we know that is the server-side version. And I think we can use it the same way. Something like this. And puzzle zipper. Should just have an unzip here. All right. So puz data, we have puz data.data. All right. .unzip puz data.data. Lib, there we go. Programming by guessing. And that should be the expanded JavaScript, right? And then this one has a title, but no rules. All right. Wait, that is a string. So we now need to do json.parse on this thing. And that gives us the JavaScript. Right, okay. And then rules would be in the cages. All right. So we got to find one where cages. So let's look at a known example then, before we go too far down this road. We're just gonna do .find, and I believe we have an ID element, right? Find, boom, ID equals. And then we have the cages here. All right, so let's do a little thing here. Load puzzle db. Just do this. And what we probably want to do, actually, let's not do this. Get puzzle. I'm just going to do puzzle db puzzle ID. And there's just going to be this. I don't know, suddenly I want to lowercase. Suddenly want to lowercase this b. I don't know why. Didn't bother me until just now, and now it's bothering me. Alright. ID. Puzzle ID. Oh, ID equals puzzle ID. Here we go. And we can do get puzzle like this. Puzzle maybe like this. All right. Then we want to do a little bit of cleanup. So we want to parse the rules metadata, and instead of just pulling that out, I'm actually going to look at the metadata parser in. I should look at the one in SudokuPad, but I think I've updated the one in the web app more recently. I think I've added one here. Parse meta. Metadata. Extract puzzle metadata. So let's see if we can do that. Did I just paste this twice? Don't know. All right, so we have a puzzle. We check if there's metadata, etc., etc. All right, get puzzle. Get puzzle, we probably want to parse it. Right. So then we want to do this on that .data. Let's be generous here and let row equals blah if row is not undefined. Turn row.data. Right. So get puzzle should now be the result of this. Exactly. And then extract puzzle data should here we go. All right. All right, so that gets us the metadata, and that gives us an area of rules. And probably what we want to do is join them together. So extract metadata, and then we get the rules. All right. So if we want to do this for a few puzzles, we're just gonna do something like puzzle db dot slice 0 10 dot map get puzzle you know what, I'm gonna rename these to puzzle db get. So puzzle db get, and then we're gonna have puzzle db unzip. Row. That's just gonna do this. Row.data. Right, and here we're gonna do turn boom row. In fact, we probably want to do the check in here. Row equals undefined. Row. How's this? Ideally, we just do a try catch in here because, to be fair, it could fail on all sorts of other things, not just if row is undefined. So we could probably just try it, and if it fails, return undefined. Anyway, over-engineering it already. So then we don't need to do this, and then we don't need to do that, and then we can just do this. And we don't even need to do this anymore, and we just can do this. Right. Is like that. Like that. And that should still run. Find ID puzzledb unzip whatever comes out of here dot data. It's not a function. Puzzledb slice. Oh, never mind. Okay, so that gets us into trouble already. I was a little bit too quick here. Okay. Can't I then do this? So puzzledb is a string. Oh. Let's just do this. Let's just do this to keep it short. Okay, all right. Don't panic. Everybody calm down. Calm down. So, that should return the data, and then should get us blah-de-da. All right. Now, if I want to I probably want to extract the rules, but I want to still have references to the puzzles by IDs. So, probably gonna do something like this. And then here we're gonna just have ID data, right? And we'll start with just 2. ID and data.length. No need to output everything. All right. And then we should be able to do something like extract puzzle, blah, blah, blah. And then we can do puzzledb unzip data. Something like that. Okay, and then we can make this a bit more expansive, and maybe even more so. Okay, and then here we get some rules. All right. So I'm just gonna find all the ones that have rules. Metadata. So if metadata.rules actually, let's just get the rules out of there. So let rules equals metadata to rules. Now rules should always be an array from the metadata extractor, yeah. So if it's undefined, we'll get an empty array out. Then we just join it up because right now that's all we know to do. Carriage return. Like that. And then if metadata rules dot length is greater than 0, then we're going to do this. If rules dot length is greater than 0, we just output the rules. Something like that. And we have a couple here. And a lot of them say normal Sudoku rules apply. But this is just to generate our test data, right? All right, so sample rules, let sample rules equals. Now the question is, do I want to do an index by ID? Probably not. So we're just going to make it an array, because I'm probably going to output this into a file and then work with that file. Let rules puzzle rules. And we're just going to build up a database, right, of rules that we can parse with references to the original puzzles, you know, so we can get them later on for the next step. So then we're just going to do puzzle rules dot push ID rules. We'll just do this. And then at the end, we'll just see how big this file gets, or this list gets. And then once we've done them all, we just put them back up into a file. So that's 11. We probably don't want to print them all out now. 11 out of 100, right? So now if we get rid of the slicing, just do this, we end up with a couple of minutes or seconds by 666, how appropriate, right? And now we're just going to do, or just wait, fsp dot write file json.stringify puzzle rules utf8. Make sure everything is prim and proper. And I'm just gonna make sure I don't mess up the order of arguments. File data, so file name first. I'm just gonna put this into puzzle rules.json. All right, and that should get us this file. All right, puzzle rules file name, puzzle rules, puzzle rules. Let's actually bring these down here. All right. So let's put this into a file const, into a function, I mean, const extract puzzle db extract rules puzzle db, and then we'll just do these things here. Well, minus this thing. And I think I'm going to add const puzzle db load after all. So it's just going to be this. Fn, here we go. Like that, puzzle to be load, puzzle to be and then puzzle to be extract rules. And that just has this code in here. Puzzle to be, blah, da, da. And then we're just going to return this. Like that. So then we can literally do this. That's our puzzle rules. And then we can do this. And that should replicate, ooh, JSON parse. Yeah, it's an async function. All right, now we can, instead of doing this, we can do this. To be honest, we can just do this. This is super generic. load JSON. So we're just going to do load JSON and this. Hopefully that's okay. It prints it all out, but it didn't die in a disaster. Load puzzle rules. And then we're just gonna hide all this in here, including these things here. And then we're just gonna do net puzzle rules equals load puzzle rules and bada bing bada boom. Now, this gives us a nice sample set, and we don't have to parse the whole freaking 6 megabyte database every time. We have 666 sets of rules. And let's start. Let's start with the first something, right? So I'd like to have an example of, for example, knights, anti-knights, right? I mean, you know, knowing the thermometers in the puzzle isn't actually useful. So this is mostly useful for things like this, right? So these are all the sort of strings we're gonna have to pay attention to eventually, right? And then we want to select them, find these, right? So let's find all rules that have the word knight mentioned in them, right? And we probably don't want to output this. So filter. And then we're just going to do rules.match. In the moment, we're just going to look for knight. And case insensitive. And multi-line. Boom. That's it. And we probably want to spell this right. And let's see how many we find. Rules.match. Yeah, I don't know. I know what I was thinking with that arrow there. 42. All right. And let's just print out the first 3 and see what we get. Normal Sudoku left them must increase, blah blah. There cannot be either a knight's move or a king's move apart. Okay, so for example, we have wording such as either or. That's, for example, something I didn't even consider, right? So what I'm imagining is that every rule that I want to handle has a function. I pass it through it, and that function just comes back yes, no, basically. So, const rules has anti-knight. Anti-knight rules. So, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna actually for each through these. We're gonna do this whole ID rules here. And then we're gonna just run this. Actually, I'm not gonna lock the output at the moment. I'm just gonna pass rules in. And then here we're gonna run rules. Tonight, blah, blah, blah. Right. So let's just look at these strings and parse them one by one. Let's look for the basic one first. 2 cells separated knight's move can't have the same value. 2 cells. So I'm already seeing a bunch of different sort of structures, sentence structures here. So I'm going to put these in here. No such rules apply. Cells separated by knight's or king's move in chess cannot contain the same digit. So I'm already seeing we probably want some generic this or that parsing. So if, for example, these two are switched or misspelled with a semicolon or not or whatever, right? I don't know yet if I'm going to separate it by sentences. So we have two cells, we have cells. So let's look at some of that stuff. All right, so let's see. Rules.match. And let's see if we can, how far we can get with regular expressions. Everybody knows regular expressions are in the parser, but let's see what we get. So we also need to be wary of line breaks. So we probably want to get rid of line breaks. So we're gonna do rules. So let text equals rules dot place n g with space, something like that. And we probably want to just output this one more time. All right. And we'll probably want to look at only one at a time for now. 1-to-2 ratio. So for example, why do we have digit mushed up here? In fact, okay, so that was mushed up from earlier, from probably this one. Ratio. Join. What if I just join it with a space? 1-to-2 ratio digits. So that puzzle. So whichever puzzle that is, it might have some problems. Let's have a look. Yeah, so we have stuff like that happening. Yeah, I gotta be careful with fuzzy matching though. I don't know if having what's worse, false negatives or false positives, right? I think false positives are worse because it's not guaranteed that the rules will state all the rules the puzzle actually has, because the setter could forget something. So if we don't find a rule, it's okay, because we can't guarantee to find all the rules anyways, right? Ultimately, what I would like to see for this sort of thing in the long run is to verify it with a checker, right? To run it through a solver with the applied rules, and then check. So for example, if I get a rule wrong and the puzzle doesn't have a unique solution or becomes unsolvable, you know, then I can potentially roll back, right? So, but that's far down the line, and I'm hoping that I'm just kickstarting a sort of a very simple open source project that we then over time could add to, you know, and submit puzzles to a database and check which ones are correct and so on. And if I can find a good fpuzzle database, that would be great, because then I can compare the data containing the rules with the text that people write about the rules, right? I mean, there are puzzles, for example, where people just say standard this, this, and that, and they don't write out the rules, right? So it might be cool to actually conflate the two, right? So if people want the short rules, so they want a puzzle that simply says standard whisper line rules apply, versus other people who want to know what the whisper line is. So maybe I can even translate from one type of rule to the other, that kind of thing, you know? So something like this. So identical digits cannot be either knight's move or king's move apart, right? So this is the whole identical things, right? So identical digits, cells, two cells separated by the knight moves. So that's kind of fairly standard. So identical to or neither of those are basically the same meaning, right? So we can say, so we're gonna say identical or to And then we can have, so I'm in the moment, I'm just gonna sort of hard code some stuff to get a feel for what we might encounter, right? And then we might have things like digits, digit, cell, something like that. So for example, if I look for these kind of words, identical to white space, separated by night smooth, cells. So what do we have? Identical digits. Identical, okay. Sure. All right, so this gets us identical digits. And then we should have words like separated by night smooth cannot have the same value. Separated by, so separated by seems quite common, but we also have this, right? So separated by cannot be. So there's a bunch of things, but you see sentence structure becomes a little bit of a factor here. So I hope I don't have to do like a language parser in the end. The idea is that hopefully I get a large enough data set that I can just cover them all eventually, even if the regexes get a bit big. All right, so and now we have another. You know what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do actually something like this, and then we're just gonna have an array of these expressions, which we're gonna join together, and then we have im in the end. All right, and then we do this. I'm gonna join these with s plus something like this. And then these are just gonna be independent bits like this. So the next bit will be cannot be. Something like that. Yeah, I don't expect it to work for everything, but what I want to do is have something like, okay, anti-night should have a little icon pop up in the corner, you know, or some orthogonal rule or whatever, so, like some of the really core basic rules. Yeah, so I don't want it to parse those kind of rules, right? If it covers like the majority of things that people would encounter in a large database, that, you know, and it's an enhancement, it's not a necessity, right? But over time, the nice thing is, if it doesn't understand a rule, it should be able to tell me, and it should say, okay, these words don't match any of the patterns. So over time, hopefully, the parser can be extended. So, so let's see what that actually looks like. Because I'm feeling my escapes here aren't correct. Cannot spee, yeah. Bit annoying. All right, so identicals can't be blah blah blah. Cannot be. And we probably just wanna do something like this. Identical digits cannot be. Identical cannot be. And then we'll continue. Either now this is obviously very custom to this specific thing, but that's where we start. Our knight's move. And these don't need braces because they're single terms for now. Be either a knight's move. Now I'm curious if stuff like that I cannot. Yeah, I'm not gonna pre-design. I'm just gonna let it run through the rules and then pop them up as it encounters them. So then I should be able to something or as an optional, right? Knight's move or because it could be also knights or right? So the move could be at the end. Let's just pop in the next two. So normal circular by 2 cells separated. So identical to cells separated by cannot be either separated by. So this whole thing actually cannot be is actually an alternate for I think I'm just gonna assume spaces here because I can always pre-process the string to get rid of long sequences of white space. Yeah, I'm just gonna presume spaces, right? So what do we have? 2 adjacent identical, 2, and we can have 2. Because the 2 could actually, we could have 2 identical cells. No, that doesn't make sense. So here we can have adjacent as an extra part. So 2 adjacent cells. And then, yeah, we can do the whole can't. So cannot. And then these bits I'm going to pull out and have kind of list, you know, kind of separate strings that I compose this thing off from. And ultimately, I'll probably need a parser anyway. Can't be either wait, no, I'm shifting here. 2 cells. 2 cells separated by either separated by can't be either so we can do space optional. All right, so that hits the first and the second, and now the last one, cells separated by knight's move in chess cannot contain the same digit. And ultimately, I'd like to get all the way to the end there. I'm gonna make this a bit bigger. So cells separated. So cells separated by knights. And then here we're gonna do a knights or, and then this probably will have a whole bunch of permutations, right? And that's probably, eventually I'll have to build a parser or use a parser or whatever. But here we can do something like or, and then we can have a list of words here. Kings, in this, kings, what? Kings. Or knights, or kings. And this whole thing is optional, move. And then here we go, in chess. And that's obviously super optional because it breaks the others, right? So here we go. It cannot be either knight's move or a king's move apart. And this is obviously super optional here. And I'm already seeing like many ways of creating a little custom language that expresses this much better. And I've done some stuff like this for games and other tasks before, so it's quite my element. move in chess. So the last one fails now. Cells separated. Cells separated by a knight's or king's move. Knights or kings. The move, we can probably have different versions for that. In chess, cannot contain a digit. I'm curious that this one fails now. Cells identical to adjacent digit cells. Identical to adjacent. Yeah, so this is not optional. So this whole thing needs to be optional, right? Cells separated by knights or king's move in chess cannot contain. Cells separated. So if I get rid of this, I'm wondering if I should actually hard code them initially, and then until I have a good list, and then do this, what I'm doing now, so I don't overfit it to the data, you know? Can't be. Let's just see what we're matching so far. I'm sure we're matching that. Yeah. Does it do the first two arguments? Yeah. So first three. Yes. Separated by knights or kings. Don't know why that is. Knights or kings. Space here. Ah, there we go. In chess. And then we cannot be knights or kings move apart. Kings. So we have either move apart, and then the in chess might, for example, be in braces, you know, that kind of thing. So move apart or cannot contain same digit. Let's just put the whole thing in for now. This may or may not be the case. Something like that. Actually, we can't do it optionally here, right? Ah, we have the space in the join. So now it fails on the earlier one. So, or a king's move part. Knights or king's move. King's move. Ah, we already have move. In fact, knights or kings, I'm going to put the move here. We either separate by a knights or king's move in chess. This should be here. Let's just get rid of this for a sec. So that fails on... No, that works on all three, all right. So that fails on the first one now. So as soon as we add this, move or a king's knight's move or a king's move. Ah, so the word move can be in either one of those places. Yeah, that's a bit annoying. Or a king's move. And then the whole in chess could be for either one, right? So that could be here and or here. Of course, it's gonna get really tiresome without a parser. Ah, okay, wait a second. So that works on the first three. Yeah. Because it's digits or cells, right? I could probably put the digit like this, two adjacent, two adjacent. Because it could also be two identical digits, right? So the two could actually be up front. So we could have a two here, optionally. Then it could be identical digits or adjacent cells, and the adjacent or the adjacent would be optional, like this. Identical digits. So digits, yeah. So why does it say identical digits cannot either be a king's? Because it's very two different structures. So that's the thing. Either I try to fit them in like this, or I pull out these two different formats and create two separate rules for them, and then or between those two, you know. And now I probably broke a bunch of stuff. All right. Cannot be either. Okay. Knight's move in chess or king's move in chess. Okay, so that all works. Part. And suddenly it fails. All right. Or king's move apart. King's move in chess. Why does this not work with the first one? This should just work, right? And it does. Okay. No, wait, it doesn't. Move apart. King's move. King's move apart. King's move in chess or no, this is all optional, right? Or king's move, or knight's move in chess, or king's move in chess apart. It could be a knight's or king's. I mean, these two are very two different structures. Is two cells, but I can still also adjacent cells is also I've certain another rules, right? You're right. There's no such thing as adjacent cells in this thing. You know what? I'm gonna go the other way around. I'm gonna first implement these individually, and then I'm gonna, because for example, this is an obvious shoe-in, right? Because this may or may not be there, but I don't have an example right now. So I'm overfitting on these three examples, which is gonna hurt me in the long run, right? So I don't think I'm gonna do it this way. I'm just gonna put this aside for a second. I think we need to work with more samples of similar things, right? So we need, if we have two different structures, we need more than one example for each structure. So what I'm actually gonna do is something like this. Well, I'm just gonna put these three cases in here. And then I'm gonna see if I can, as I get more of these, if I can just join them together. You know, make them a little, simplify them a little bit on certain punctuation bits. I should probably lowercase them all, so don't get confused. All right, no full stops or anything like that in the middle. And I'm just gonna do this. All right, so that gets us the 3, right? And we want this, but we, yeah. So what we really want to return is, so that, right? If is not equal, no. We really want to output the first element right now. I don't even know, actually. I think the first is, yeah, all right, well. So we don't have this multi-line spam here. I wish I could make it green here. We don't want this output either. And then we probably want to do something like that. I wish I could highlight this like that. If I put this into an array, I'm guessing it'll highlight it green. Yeah. What if I do this? And I'm still outputting the text as well, which is... yeah, so... outputting the text would be helpful if it fails. And here we can do... I'm just gonna do something like... fail. All right. And let's bring in some more. What about making the option smaller by streamlining words and removing unimportant parts? Yeah, I've done text parsing out the wazoo a long time ago. I'll have to build the parser first, and right now I just want to see kind of if I can do some sort of large-scale analytical stuff right first. Like get all these simple cases out the way here. So I'm just gonna collect some of these basic cases until I get to like a vast majority, and then I'll have examples to look at, you know. Digits along an arrow, some cells separated by night just cannot contain the same digits. Because then, for example, I can even here just visually sort them a bit. Especially if I start getting things that are similar to each other already. Cells separated by a knight's move in chess. I need to do a regex escape method, and I've done it before, just don't know where it is. Because I'm guessing knight's move in chess, yeah, I need to double escape these, which is super annoying. All right, there you go. 5, let's go to 10. Boom, fails, 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 fails. Each row column, identical digits cannot appear within a king's or knight's move from each other. And here we're starting to see, I'm starting to see kind of the cases up here. Each other. So for example, all the ones that say knights or kings move, right? And then knights versus knights or kings, you know, cell separated by, so these two you see, these are more or less the same structure. So these would be easy to join. Then we have a bunch of identical identical digits. So we have the identical digits cases like this. All right, and then here digits separated, but cannot contain the same digit. So this is similar to the identical digits, just without the identical. Cannot contain the same digit. So cannot contain the same digit. That end phrase is quite common. Identical cells cannot be a knight's move apart. Identical cells. So you see somebody wrote identical cells, even though it doesn't actually make sense, right? Identical cells can't be a knight's move apart. What they mean is identical digits in different cells. But that's not what they wrote. All right, here we go. All right, numbers and identical digits cannot appear within the knight's. So identical digits cannot appear within a knight's move of each other. So for example, these two are super similar, right? So we definitely have a case to be made for, so let RE frag knights. So this should be kings or knights. So it should be knights or kings or knights or knights or kings. Knights or kings here. And it should be really or. Specifically, right, we should split this into a list and then have any kind of combination. So knights. So basically what we really want here is something like dot plus or question mark. And here we want this to be a non-greedy match. We don't have a whole sentence in here. And then here with a leading or. Yeah, but that's the thing. We're parsing human language here, so they can write whatever they want. My job to figure it out. Cells that are adjustment bus must not contain the same digit. Cells that are part. Cells that are. So we have a mixture of kind of move apart and cells that are. All right, and then digits, even digits must be at least one identical digit from knight's move and chess. So this is the sort of thing I want to be careful about, right? I don't want to accidentally match this. And that's the important thing, right? I'd rather not match this than accidentally think it's just an anti-knight rule, which it isn't. It's a conditional one, and I'm okay with not catching that. Digits must digits can repeat in cage. Camel move apart. Cells camel move apart. May not kings. Camel move like the elongated knight and chess. Yeah. So for example, this is also not an anti-knight. So that's actually correct. That doesn't fit it. So not every rule with the word knights in it is an anti-knight. That's kind of part of what I wanted to confirm here. Camel move. Even digits must, and then here chess knights move apart must not contain. Did I not just add this one? Cells that are knights. That's this one, isn't it? Why does that not match it? Ah, it does. Okay. All right. So let's see if we can minify these rules. So we can exclude these. We'll probably want to do something like slice, blah, blah, blah. And then we're just going to do filter. Filter rules. No. Blah-de-da. Not. That includes ID. I'm just going to exclude those for now, so I don't get more false, whatever, positives. What just happened there? That was weird. All right. Yeah. So let's see if we can shrinkify these. So the question is, can I include this? And I probably want to do this first. Then it saves me some escape shenanigans as well. So can I replace this with, whoops, with this? Yeah, and that's kind of what I'm hoping to discover here. Knight's move or a king's move. Yeah, so this whole thing, hopefully, a knight's, and then here we should have move optionally. And the question is, do we get additional false negatives or positives or whatever, false alarms? So the word move is actually quite common. Okay. So knight's move, knight's move. We can probably pull the A in here as well. I think. And then the either is actually part of this as well. Oh, all right, we have a new failure. So identical digits, and I think outputting the regular expression here doesn't really help. Identical digits can appear within a knight's or king's move of each other. Cannot appear within a knight's move or a knight's move. A knight's move. A king's or knight's move. Ah. So the A might actually have to be at the front. Because there's no A on the second part. Yeah, alright. King's, a knight's move. And then the whole in chess as an optional thing. I think I can just add that here. Like this. And the in chess in braces might actually... the braces themselves might also be optional. Alright. A knight's or a king's move in chess. This whole thing comes out. There we go. A chess knights move apart. So the chess can also be at the front. A chess. So that could be here. Chess move. Knights move apart. All right. So, yeah, either the cannot is at the front or the cannot is at the back. So we have digits, identical digits, and cells, and two cells. So let RE fragment cell equals. All right, so what are the options? So we have identical digits, where the identical is optional. Digits, then we have cells, or cells, right? It's one of these two. And the cells can have an optional 2 leading. And let's try that for now. Yeah, I think this is much more productive than what I did earlier. And then we just look at these similarities, because they kind of jump out at you like this. Yep. Yeah, all right, so these all still work. And now we have the two structures, the one with a separated by and the one cannot. So let's call this cannot appear. Like this. So it starts with cannot, and then it's followed by either B with an optional either, or appear within, and the cannot be either. Cannot be either. So if I sort these like this, be either, appear within, appear within. So if I do this now, yeah, let's just replace these. Oh, we got fails. All right, where are we failing? Digits, nice. Digits cannot be without the either. We don't have a space here. Probably don't have space outside here. All right, we're back to, all right. And then we can do RE part. And that's basically these two for now. So it's apart or off each other. And then these we don't need anymore. There we go. Whoops. And then we have these. This one is a bit annoying. Okay, so separated by. I'm wondering if this one, because here is the contain the same digits is at the end. So that's almost like a third form. Separated by. So I think I'm just gonna do this one and then here cannot contain, and that's basically these four. And can't instead of cannot. All right. So put this in here. And then I probably don't need these anymore. And then instead of digit, we can also have value. Excuse me. And the nice thing is, this frontal bit is all the same as well. So then we have this, one of these, and then one of these. So for example, this part, we can actually move out here. Let's do this. Like that. Because now I can just do this, for example. Then frag cells doesn't have to be in here anymore. Right? Yep. And then, well, let's do the last two. For now, this is going to be a bit of a chunky one. Because I don't really want to mix these with this, because it's a different structure. I don't want to risk. I'd rather see it fail or see where it succeeds and then see if we can take it that way. Just so I don't get a false positive. Like when this is at the end, like I want to match these pairs up basically. That's always the danger. So must not. Let's just do this to kind of see the grammatical structure here. Right, must not. Boom. All right. All right, let's bring in a few more. See where it fails next. Oh, there are cells that are chess, knights move apart, cannot contain the same digits. So let's see. Did I fly in my microphone? What the heck? Let's see where this one might fit. Cells that are chess, knights move apart. Cells that are, so, so cells that are, so it should fit this one. Cells that are a chess, knights move, a chess, knights move, apart, cannot contain the same digit, apart, must not, okay, so cannot. It took me a while to figure out where it fits, but we're done, all right? So that's already another 10 sorted. Okay, one more fail. Every digit must see at least one algebraic knight's move in chess. Okay, so this is like a brand new format. Definitely. Every even, oh no, that's the every even digit. So that's another every even digit. Yeah, so I don't wanna, that goes in the exclusion list for now. All right, let's go another 10. No, so the who's outside the rep. Following rules applies. Ryan rule. The groups camel rule. Identical size can't be an extended knight's move apart. Okay, so that's camel rule. So that's another exclusion. All right. 50. So I think the passes, I don't want to highlight them anymore. I can just do pass. Like that. Yeah, without the arrow, array. So pass, 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 pass. Fail. How do we make the fail stand out? Make the pass smaller. Make the pass indent further. And fail is here. Normal so the knight's move in chess cannot contain the same digits. Cells separated by knight's move in chess. How do I not already have this one? This looks so similar to stuff we already have. I think I need to go soon. But today's session, I want to definitely finish it off with pushing the stuff into the repo, because that's kind of the point of this open source tools repo. So cells separated. So I also have to be careful of typos and spelling mistakes and stuff. King's move in chess cannot contain chess. Cannot contain the same digit. Chess cannot appear within part of each other. Cannot contain the same digit. So it is a mixture of, no wait, separated by, so cells separated by a knight's move in chess. Ah yeah, so here we have the optional brackets like that. There we go. Another pass. Yeah, the problem is then it takes up 3 lines. I want to make it compact. I should really use a color thingamajig. Node color log. There's a library, but I don't really want to change colors of console font color. Split colors. So maybe I can just do something like this. I don't know. I don't know if that'll work. Wow, so many passes. Maybe we won't have any more fails anymore. Maybe we've done them all. Wow, okay. That's not too bad. Oh, there's one. Oh wait, we only have 42 of them. All right. And also the gross approach. 2 adjacent cells can't have consecutive values. 2 cells separated by a knight's move can't have the same value. 2 cells separated by a knight's move can't have the same value. So 2 cells separated by a knight's move can't have the same value. This does not work as I thought it would. Why does it do this occasionally? I don't even know what key combination I'm pressing there. Why does the fail go to the bottom? Ah! Oh. Oh, okay. Never mind. Didn't see that. Yeah, here we go. In fact, normal Sudoku rules apply. Two adjacent cells can't have consecutive values. Two cells separated by a knight's move can't have the same value. I think it's the same. Oh wait, I have it already. I think it's half the same value. So two cells, right? Separated by. So we're over here. By a knight's move. Cannot contain. Can't contain the same. Half the same. Contain the same. Alright, so instead of contain, we can also have have. And full pass. Alright. And I think that's all of them, because we only had 42 examples in this rule set. So this is, you know, in my test case, the entire CTC database actually captures them all. All right. I think that works. And then we can probably clean this up a little bit more. So we have cells first, and the fragment for the knights. You know, I'm gonna get rid of the frag word. All right. So we have that are must not, are apart must not. Then we have separated by, so cannot appear, separated by, and that are. So we could put those three into one and then have all of these also in one. Right? So basically what I'm saying is I can do this or this or this, followed by a space and then RE knights, followed by a space and these three. RE apart, RE cannot contain, and RE must not. Now the pairs aren't matched up though, so I'm not sure if this is a good idea. I'm being a bit overzealous here. It's a lot of data though to commit, isn't it? But you're right, this is actually the perfect case for unit testing. Don't have this time now for this stream though. But a lot of this should be reusable for the King's rule. So what if we do a check on King's rules, right? And let's do our little function here, const test untie knight. And in fact, the puzzle rules are I'm actually committing anyway, so so if I call test untie knight, puzzle rules, just pass them in. Like that. It'll just do this. Yeah, I'm thinking if I pass I'm just trying to think if I can just output something from here and do this debug rendering outside. Split? I think split it was better. You're saying about these 3 parts? Let me think. Yeah, I think you might be right. So if I change these back, I need 3 copies of them, right? So we need the first one, we need the second one, and the third one. And then here we need the second one, and the third one. Right. And what we basically do is this. So we have this part, we have this part, or we have this part. All right. Guess we can just do it like this again. I'm almost tempted to just, join these together. I mean, since I'm using this only once, we could literally just, instead of having it split like this, we can put these bits in here, right? So we can just do this, and then have RE Knights in the middle, and then RE apart at the end. Like that. No. Let's leave it like this for now. Because you're right. Right now, if we're going to minimize stuff, it might make sense, but in the future we might want to extend stuff instead. Right? So, basically have this. We have this. Then we have this bitty here. And we can even do this if we want to do things like that. And we can do this, and this, and this. And then here we can do like that. Yeah. Oh, shoot. I deleted it. No. Clipboard. Oh, did I delete that? How long ago did I delete that? No. Why did I delete that? Here we go. Yeah. Yeah. I'm almost tempted to pull the RE cells back into these things and then just have an array. So something like let phrases equals, right? And then we just have these 3. And then we just do like this. And then the regex is basically just that. Well, let's not mix too many different things at least. Oh god, I hate that. Come on. Yeah. I think this might be cleaner. And then people making these future phrases can reuse these biddies. All right. Now, what I really want to do here is we don't want to create this all out here. The regular expression, you know, if we run it 1,000 times, we don't want to have to create 1,000 separate regular expressions. So all this stuff should be elsewhere. but we can just closure-ify it. So we're just gonna do one of these. Return rules. Boom. Boom. And execute that. Rules.replace text. Text, yeah, that goes down here. All right. So now we're creating the regex outside of this. And here, I mean, I could literally just return this and do this handling on the outside. Yeah, we can probably just return this here. And then out here, we'll do that and do this. And then we can repeat this bit of code for other things, right? And actually, all we really care about is this regular expression then. Ultimately, I could just make it a collection of regular expressions if... The nice thing about this is that if something cannot be handled by a regular expression, I can still do it. So what I was going to do before I finish the stream, see if we can do it anti-king quickly, because anti-king is super similar. King's rules. Don't have this list of exclusions. Right. Just so we have two different rules for comparison. Something like that. Well, this sounds like the exact same number. Ah, because I didn't change that. King. Sorry, I'm hiding something over here. So 19 king's rules. The text replacement strategy should be completely outside of anti-king. The let text replacement. Yes and no. Maybe. 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 Because now it's just an application of the regex, right? Because now I can literally just do this. Equals turn group. And then we can just RE. We can just do the match out here. But then we're forced everything to solve with a singular regular expression, which ultimately might not do the trick. Hey Thuna, how are you doing? And now what I want to actually do is something like this filter, these should actually be part of this filter. So we should be able to say filter where the rules match and we're not in the exclusion list. And that includes ID. And then we don't have to do this. Match thing, extra brace. Right. So because now this is the number of rules we have. We're going through all of them. Because now what I want to do is const test rule check, and we're gonna get rules, or just call them puzzles, and check RE, right? Because now what I want to do is, yeah, I'm actually just finishing off because it's late and I've just received notification that the dog is on his way home, and I cannot, the dog hates it when I'm still streaming when he gets home. So, you know. Alright, so we want to pass in the filtered puzzle rules. So we're checking them by the night. We're pulling out the excluded ones. And there they come. Hey, Toby! Hey, babe. Hey, Poochie. Right, today he's going straight for the toys. So we're passing in the rules, which is this part. Hey, Toby, come here. Say hello. Come here. Hello. Toby, welcome home. Hey, I'm still streaming. You want to go outside? It's dark and cold outside. Cool. Let me get rid of these headphones so I don't get entangled when I pick you up. Oh, don't run away. Don't run away. He's running away. He doesn't want me to pick him up. I'm worried that he'll bump into the microphone. Alright, I'm gonna find you in the kitchen. Come here. Come here. Let me chase you around the room. Oh, where do you want to go? First, you gotta say hello on the stream. Oh, yeah, good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Let me see. Let's see where we're at. Oh. Why is this GOG Gaming? Where's my... Okay. There you go. Hey, Toby, look. There you go. Look, there's something. Huh? What do you think? You want to get outside? Hey, alright. Alright. Let's tidy up the stream. Almost done. So I guess you can see what I was trying to do here. Yeah, so I think I'm just going to replace this with this thing here. Sorry, Topes, I'll be right there. So we got the rules, which is this part. Then we say how many rules. I'm just going to do this. And then we're going to do this bit. Oop. Puzzles. ID rules. Check regular expression. And then we have pass or fail. So now if I do this and pass in the RE rule until night, here is the second argument. And hopefully I didn't forget something. Okay. So now we don't need that thing at all anymore. We just have a generic function where we just pass in the puzzles to check and the regular expression. Right? And we can, you know, we can do this in there if we want, just to have it a little tidied up, right? And we can have like a little excluded IDs, just so people aren't confused about what these are. Excluded IDs. All right. I feel like I want to pass in the regular expression first. Or I think when we did currying at university, my brain started working like that. All right. And now the test anti-king will basically be the same thing. Like this. Excluded IDs will start out empty because I don't know yet. And for now, we're just gonna do this. Right. And now I can do this and it just immediately blows up because why? X is not defined. Wait, Did I just delete something that I needed? This one works. Also rules filter, rule match, and include IDs. Not excluded IDs that includes ID. I don't see how these two are different. Text is not defined. Ah, okay. Well, I think that just means text is not defined. Text is not defined. Ah. Right. That text. Fair enough. I guess there's one. Ah, that's because we get fails, obviously. Yeah, now we get a bunch of fails. Yeah, so now we obviously need to do the same thing for king. King. And we can hide these. King. And then we basically don't want any of these. I think we just want to return this at the end. I think the only reason we wouldn't want to return it right away is what I need right now, which is to look at it for debugging purposes. All right. So pass, I think it's going to be either king's move or knight's move apart. So that obviously, this needs to be kings in here now. Normal Sudoku digits cannot be either a knight's move or a king's move apart. A knight's move or a king's move apart. A knight's move, a blah blah blah, knight's move or a. See, a can be in here. A knight's move or king's move. So I think this needs to be on the inside. I think for the other one, for the knight's move as well. Cannot contain this in cells separate by the knight's or king's move. Knights by a knight's or king's. So a knight's or should get taken care of this. Separated by a knight's or king's move. Or no, no, the A cannot be in there because the A is usually on the outside of the or, except here, a knight's move or a king's move. So there can also be an A in here. That's what I've learned. Or actually, this, because that's taking care of this for the outer clause. This is also optional. This whole thing is optional. Okay. Grid markers are either arrows sum to number in the bulb. Grid mark kings. All right, so that's an exclusion. So this is a failure of this filter. So we probably want to do just a white space on either side. Well, white space or apostrophe. Right, there's only 12. A lovable eccentric king has put before your chest. Okay, so that's probably an exclusion. Cells separate black dot contains cells. Maybe there is one in here. Saw true attack on the group above the king tells you. Yeah, so there's no king's move involved. This is just an exclusion. Because it has the word king in it. Why does it keep closing that freaking thing? I don't know that. I don't know why. There's some key I'm pressing and it just makes it go wonky. And identical digits. So identical digits cannot be within a king's move of each other. One of the problems is with this whole OR business I'm trying to think, can I find puzzles that are one but not the other? Well, no, actually, I don't care about the negative case. I only care about the positive case. So if king isn't in there, it's not a king's move thing. All right, so that should work. Within a king's move of each other and identical digits cannot be within, cannot be appear within, cannot be. So the within can be on either side of, can't be appear within. So cannot be within. All right, so the appear, so the within is outside of this. And it's optional. Yes, it's optional. All right. Each error extended one cell. King's move from its current tip. That is a king. Each error needs to be extended by one cell. That's a king's move. Arrows cannot share the. That's how the. All right. So this is also an exclusion because it's a special rule that just happens to have the word king in it. All right. Normal Sudoku rules applies, and that cannot be within a king's move, touching each other diagonally. All right, so identical digits cannot be within a king's move. Cannot be within. So let's actually move this down. So these are in the order that they appear. And I think I want to update these as well. So I want to put these in between here. And I think what I did here with the A chest things, one second, let me just put this here. A chest thing here. I think I want to have it on these as well. And then touching each other diagonally. Now for kings, I think there might be something similar to that, but I don't know what it is. King's move. King's move in chess. Cannot appear within of each other. So I think it can go into this group, touching each other diagonally. Cannot be chess. Yeah, touching each other diagonally. So for now I'll do this, but I could also imagine that without the brackets, the sentence could contain those words directly. And that's doing all the anti-kings. Now let's make sure anti-knights is still good. Yeah. All right, so that's actually 2 of them. So here we go, do console.log testing anti-knight rule. And then anti-king. Kink? No. Anti-king rule. And just rule check there. I think I'm gonna indent the ID as well. All right. Okay, so now let's have a quick look at the diff. So I've brought in the puzzle zipper library. That's okay. This I changed. So that might break the other thing. But I guess that's okay for now. So rules parser, I don't mind putting that in there for now. In the future, this whole thing needs to be separated with like a folder for data and all that sort of thing. I'm just wondering if this is too big to put into a repo. And we probably want to break it up by lines. So probably want to do this. Dot map row JSON.stringify row. I just want to format that in a more human readable version. Dot join comma \n, and all of that goes into /n. Like that, and \n, like that. If I stuff this into a file, it should be a valid. I should be JSON destringificated this without any problems, but it should be a little bit human readable. All right. So let's do this. Await fsp.write file, and the file name is king and tonight. Let's get rid of that. Puzzle rules JSON. I'm just gonna write this like that. Write file. UTF-8. If I completely destroy everything, we can always recreate the file. So now, this is what it looks like now. I think this is much friendlier. Okay. I don't think it's gotten any bigger. Yeah, negligibly. So let's just make sure if we recreate the file here. So load puzzle rules, load puzzle rules. So const create puzzle rules file. Or let's do something like this: extract puzzle rules async puzzle db file name, which is this puzzle rules, load JSON puzzle db file name, load puzzle rules. So it's really just this. So we can do something like let puzzle rules equals this. Boom, like that. Load puzzle rules this. Puzzle rules. Extract puzzle rules. So load puzzle rules. Extract puzzle rules. Const write puzzle rules file async puzzle rules file name, and then we'll just do puzzle rules map yada yada yada. Right. So puzzle to be extract puzzle blah blah blah. Extract puzzle rules. Write puzzle rules file. So that would be puzzle rule. Come on. Puzzle rules file. Puzzle rules file. Const write puzzle rules file. Puzzle rules file. And then we do const create puzzle rules file. And we just pass in this and then the rules file name. It's basically just doing both of those things, right? So we'll do this with this file name, and then we write it to this file name. And that should be Basically the combination of these two. And then it shouldn't have any external dependencies because obviously... Let's just do this for a sec. No, not extract. What? No, no, no. No. Wait. What did I just do? So we want to put this file name in there. Yeah, I screwed something up here. We have this file name and this file name. Create puzzle rules file. All right, let's just comment all this out. So if I do this and I run it, for each is not a function. Puzzle rules, extract puzzle rules, load JSON, puzzle DB extract. Ooh, is this gonna output everything? Oh, wait. Rip a deep deep. We need to await somewhere here. I think we need to await this one. Puzzle rules.map. Puzzle rules.map. Await. Extract puzzle rules. Create puzzle rules files. Extract puzzle rules. Wait. Okay, yada yada yada. And uh-oh. Awkward. Yeah. File name. I think we just might have overwritten this one. Just double check. All right, I think we're good. I think we're still good. So create puzzle rules file with this, and then load puzzle rules. Load puzzle rules. Doesn't need any of this. Puzzle DB extract rules. Load JSON puzzle DB file name. No, load JSON puzzle rules file name. Yeah, I don't think we need this anymore. And we can just do let puzzle rules await load, and we're not even going to consting it because we're just only going to be using it in one place. And that should be all we need. All right. And I'm gonna remove this because it just needs the other file name, right? And then we can group all of these together. Load JSON. So load puzzle data. Rules. All right. And testing. Right. And get rid of that. All right. We can get rid of this file. I think that's all we need. And we can probably add something to package JSON. So we can do something like test rules parser. And we can just do node. Now I have to see how relative file names work there. So we might be struggling a bit. Rules parser parser.js. So npm run test parser. Ooh. Ow. Why did that take so long? Open puzzle rules.json. Alright, so we probably want to do either this. Actually, we want to do SOC rules parser. All right. I think that makes sense. Set of ID, XYZ rules, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I think the word rules by 5 characters isn't gonna break the bank there on a 180K file. I mean, the word rules. So we have 667 rows, right? So we'll say 7 characters by 672. Let's call it 700. That's 5K on 185K. So yeah, no, that's fine. It's fine. I mean, it's not really a file size problem. It's more about understanding. I'm a bit concerned about exposing all these IDs, but since I'm only including the rules text, maybe it's not a problem. Because maybe instead of that, it should be just links to puzzles. Because like this obviously won't work for fpuzzles data. But we'll cross the bridge when we get to it. We'll burn the bridge when we get to it, as they say. All right, and rules parser for kings and knights, anti king and anti knight. All right, and that should buy my mugs. Store.svencodes.com. Nope, that's the wrong place. Here we go. So we should now have new commits and rules parser. All right, cool. So that's available under github.com/SudokuPad/SudokuTools. If you're interested, check it out. And I gotta really get going now, guys. Got somewhere to be. All right, thanks a lot for hanging out. Really appreciate it. I feel like I got it out of my system. I had this idea and I want to get it started. And I don't expect it to be universal and to work for everything. It's very specific, gonna be for like certain global rules only, like anti-kings, anti-knights, etc. So, and ultimately all I want to do is like show a little icon like they have in Sudoku Studio that says, hey, this puzzle has this global constraint and so on and so forth, right? And in the future, eventually I would like my tooling to be more constraint aware, and stuff like this can help us make... I also have a bit of an archivist in me, and in the future I'd like to have the big database of all puzzles with really clean data, so somebody can say, hey, give me all your anti-knight puzzles, for example, that kind of thing. So it's also about that. All right, thanks guys, thanks for hanging out. Check out usual places, patreon.svencodes.com, support is much appreciated. Subscribe to the YouTube channel if you can. I'm trying to get to 100 so I can get the custom channel IDs. Discord, cracking the cryptic, all the usual stuff. Check it out. Take care, have a good evening. Ciao, ciao.